Hello, I am Meenakshi, Assistant Professor in Department of Computer Applications in Rohini College of Engineering and Technologies. In this video, we saw the concept of Android intent. The last video, we saw the basic component of activities, services, broadcast receiver in Android applications. Now we saw the last and most important component of Android basic application is intent. Intent is nothing. The Android enable communications between component of the same as well as different applications. You can understand them as asynchronous messages. This messages allows applications component to recur functionalities from other component of the applications. Android intent. Intents are the object of Android.content.indent type. Intent perform the following three tasks mainly. The first task is starting an activities. An activity start to perform a task when we pass the intent object to the content dot start activity method. When an intent object is passed to start activity method, it starts a new activity or an existing one. The next task is starting a services. An intent object is passed to the content dot start services method to start a service. We can also send a recur request to an existing service. The last important task is delivering a broadcast, passing the intent object in content dot send broadcast, send messages to broadcast receiver. The intent objects are nothing but a lot of information wrapping together. An intent object basically contains the informations to determine the component to start and the actions for them. Intent object have following 6 things: component name, action, data, category, extras, and flags. The first basic component, basic combo. The first thing in the intent object is component name. The intent object holds the name of the component of the Android applications. Using the component name, the system delivers intent to the particular application's component. We use one of the following three methods: set component method, set class method, set class name method. If we want to read the component name, we can read it using the get component method. The next thing is actions. Action define the general task that is to be performed on component. Now this action directly target activities, services, or broadcast receiver. Action call. This is for indicate calls from the user's device. Action edit. This is to edit and make changes in the data that is visible to the user. The next thing in the intent object is data. Data stores and tell the type of the data to the intent filter. While creating an intent, it is important to specify the type of data in it. While defining the data type, that is the MIME type of data, in addition to its URI, the data is expressed as URI. The next important information in intent object is category. This contains some additional information about what kind of object should hold the intent. An intent object can contain any number of type of categories. Some of the categories included are as follows: browsable. The target component can be invoked in browser to display data or messages. Alternatives. This means the component should be added in the list of alternative actions that the user performs on some data. Gadget. Gadget. This activity can be added inside some other component that hosts the gadget. Home. This displays the home page of the user's device. Launcher. The target can be an initial task and listed on the top of the application launcher. Extras. This is the piece of extended information in additional to the provided one. This is the optional and it is used only in the case when there is a need to provide some extra information for the component. The extra key value pair of the component. The last information in the intent object is flag are also provided in intent object for different types of tasks. There are various types of flags that can be set using the add flag method and the set flag method. The types of intent in the Android applications. Intent can be two types of. First one is implicit intent and explicit intent. Implicit intent in Android. Implicit type of intent are those data do not mention any component name and only declare the actions. Implicit intent specifies these actions that are to be performed. These actions can invoke any application component that can perform these actions. These are useful when your action is important but your application is not capable of performing in. Explicit intent. Explicit intent are those intent that specifically mention the component that it target. The Android systems call this component by explicitly mentioning them. You can use the explicit intent for the purpose of launching an application's component. Intent filter in Android. Intent filters are expressions in the manifest file of an Android applications. These are responsible for deciding the behavior of the intent. Intent filters that we mention in the manifest file can be nested with the application's component. Intent filters can define the behavior of intent using three components: actions, data, category. Action name define the intent action that it will accept. Data define the data that is acceptable. Category define the name of the intent category that is acceptable. Thank you.